Hey guys, sorry I had to move. I'm moving benches right now, trying to get everything situated. So what you can see here, and I'm going to put this camera on here. So here's what we're going to be working with today, right? And I've got to take a minute to go get one more thing set up. But the idea here is I've put this camera a little bit off instead of being heads on here. I wanted you to be able to watch the motor. So here we're going to have our motor. I'm going to put the screen up here in just a second so I can show you guys what we're going to be watching here. And I believe it should be able to fit without issue. So let me just minimize this real quick. And going to go ahead and open the app to run the benchmark here. And I think you guys should be able to see that. So give me 1 second. Let me see if I can add that. That should be it right there. And let me make sure. Okay, so here is the screen that we're talking about with the data. And we're going to do a split screen. And we've done this before. I just have to get it aligned properly for you guys. All right, so I'm going to take about a minute here to go ahead and set something up because I wanted to get that Fat Shark video done real quick. Again, thanks to Aaron for letting me know. And so now we're going to get, I've got a F60 Pro, what is this, a 2700 kV, and I think that's what we're going to start with. I got some 6S batteries ready to go, 5S batteries ready to go, and 4S batteries ready to go. So the idea is that we're going to run, and we're using a T-Motor 45 amp ESC, and we're just going to run these. And I mean, there's no doubt something's going to probably break, smoke, or do whatever. And you know, this is kind of an unbiased way to do it because I'm going to put my motors on there, and if they fry, they fry. I mean, the idea is to give you guys the best possible knowledge for your next purchase, and really see. I mean, some of the environment we're going to do here is not real life; it doesn't make much sense. But I like to push things to the limit to kind of get an idea of how long something may last. So that's the bell telling me batteries are ready. I'm going to put this screen up here of the stand, and I'm just going to put a video will begin shortly because I've got to step away for about 1 minute to grab the rest of the items. So if you guys will hang tight, we will be right back here and start doing some thrust tests and some motor frying. All right, give me 1 second. All right, now I'm coming back, guys. Sorry about that. Got my coffee. I'm going to put my phone up here so I can see any comments that I may miss. I apologize if I miss them. Hey, what's up, guys? Let me get rid of this thing, and let's go back here. Okay, and I'm looking at some. Hey, Billy and Brandon and Aaron, and we got some good guys watching in. Look, guys. We're just gonna tear shit up. I mean, if it breaks, it breaks. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Great. Now, I did get this this kind of a cheapo end heat gun, but it was going to give me at least a kind of a target point by using the laser. And I don't know if y'all can see that, but well, anyways, you can see it on my face. So hopefully, I can get a better reading. I'll try to post the temperatures. I'm also going to post the stuff. So let me get going here and do a split screen. Let me get over here. Let's do a split screen, and then you guys can tell me which kind of split screen you prefer. All right. So let's see. We're gonna put this. Let's do it like this, right? So let's go that way. Okay. Now that sucks, but let me see if I can straighten it up here and get the angles straight, just like that. I think that would work. There we go. Let's see if that's better. All right. So one thing I want you to do is I want you to be able to watch this screen here. And also watch the, let me take this thickness down. We don't need that thick of thing. So let's try that. Let's see if that works. Okay. So I want you to be able to see the data as it happens on this screen right here. And then I want you to be able to see the motor here in case something weird goes on. Does this split screen work for y'all? Now, while you guys are answering that question, I'm going to get started and get some lipos lined up and make note of what we're doing, okay? So if you'll just please let me know. I just want to make sure that we're set, all right? So let me put this down. Let me grab my coffee. Let's get some lipos. And if the split screen works for y'all, it works for me. So that's what we'll do. All right, so here's our 5S. So we've got a charged 5S here that we're going to use. And we're going to pull a charge 4S, and we may go to a charge 6S if it calls for it, which I have a feeling we're going to, so I might as well go ahead and get prepared for that. Okay, so getting back to this now. Okay, so the split screen looks good. Good. All right, so I told you guys that we would chime in with y'all on what you wanted to see for, let's do this real quick. Okay, so what you guys wanted to see for test, right? Now, my idea was, and this is the first time we're going to be trashing shit up. So, I mean, you know, I like to break stuff too, but I'm maybe not be the best at it. So some of your input's going to be helpful, okay? So the idea here was, I'm going to put the motor on. I'm going to get a KV reading first to make sure that we've got the best KV reading possible, make sure the computer's got it, right? I'll take my notes, you'll watch the screen, and the log will be posted. After that, I'm going to run the motor, and my idea was to run the motor at 100% for 1 minute. Excuse me, on a got a cold. On a 4S, a 5S, and a 6S. Now, I think no matter what, we're going to be pushing it and blowing it, or we're going to blow the ESC, or we're going to break something. And this video may only last 5 minutes by the time I'm done. But I figure we're going to try that, and let's see what happens. Now, if you guys have a better idea, I want you to tell me. I can put props on it. I can put a simple prop on it, and we can run it for a minute at full throttle with a prop. We can run it without and just see how hot the motor gets without any resistance at all, any props on there. It's up to y'all. I'll let y'all pick, but the first run is going to be with no prop just to make sure we get the right reading on the motor, okay? So you guys chime in. Let's break some stuff, and this is episode 1 of what's going to be, let me see, I'm looking around. I got a crap load of inventory, so I'm ready to break one of everything just so we can have a database of good stuff for everybody, okay? So let's not waste any more time. Let's get back to our screen, and let me show you how this is going to work. First thing is, I'm going to go ahead and set the 6S aside, and we're going to start with a 4S for KV reading, or we could even do a 3S. So let me grab one of those two. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab a 3S for KV reading because I don't really want to wear down the batteries. So, and a KV reading is very simple. It doesn't require much. So I'm just going to go ahead and strap the 3S in and fire this thing up, and we'll connect. All right, so you're going to hear the ESCs initialize like normal. Where the hell's my coffee? Hold on. All right, so that's something to be expected. And then there is a it's not bad for brushless much to go full tilt without any kind of resistance. Well, I tell you what, you're about to find out, Aaron, because the idea is it's bad to run them at 100% on 6S when they're not designed for it. But you know what? We're going to have some fun today because we get to just tear shit up today, okay? So here goes. Let's go ahead and do a calibration first. So let me unplug the LiPo. And we're going to follow the same standards for all of them. So let's just go ahead and be like normal. All right, so now you're going to see we've got function out of the motor, all right? And we will set our thrust to 0 in a little bit. This isn't really designed to be a thrust test tonight, but you will still get some thrust information out of it. So we have some automatic scripts that I wrote and we're going to go to the one that gets our KV reading. So we're going to do a measure KV and make sure that everything is dialed in for this, and it'll automatically run this test for us, and you guys hopefully will be able to see that on the screen. Okay, so we're going to give this a shot and make sure first. So let's go ahead and do that. And it's going to ramp it up. You have to ramp it up without a prop to do this. Yeah, I have an extinguisher. I don't want to talk about that though. That's bad. That's bad juju. Okay, so motor KV value is right around 2718, it says. Yesterday when I ran this is the one thing I did run, I got right around 2700. So I'd say for right now, so far we're starting off really good, and I think you guys can see that right there, so you should see that data. Okay, now the way I'm going to do the temperature, and I hate using these things because I'm never 100% on with them, but I'm going to take a temperature and I'm going to tag this in 3 different spots, and I'll show you guys. So right now what you're looking at is about the highest temperature 81, but right now about 73.8. And on the ESC, in the ESC area, it's looking at about 76. All right, so you guys will see that right there. So we're going to go ahead now and take this 3S off and run a 4S. All right, so let me put the 3S. The 3S we're just going to use for KV readings only. So let's go grab a fresh 4S. It just got done charging. Okay, and that is right here. And we will run the 4S, and we will run the motor at 100% for a period of 1 minute. All right. Now you can see the voltage reading right here at 17.2. That's a high voltage battery. So you know, it's going to be a little bit higher than normal, but let's see what we got. All right. So wait, you're not seeing the right screen? Seriously? Oh shit, I'm sorry. Hold on. Oh, damn it. Okay, my bad. My bad. Apologize. Ah, darn, my bald head. How attractive that was. I apologize, guys. We fixed it now. We fixed it. Okay, so we're back in the swing of things here. Okay, so I've gone ahead and put the 4S on, and what we're going to do now is, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and look at the script here because I wrote it yesterday, and I'm going to return this. And let me just go ahead and go to the script, and we're going to edit this script real quick. And what we're just going to say is that we want to run this at maximum for 1 minute. So let me find the sequence on here. Minutes right here. So I'm going to cut and paste this out because I want it to climb to 2,000. So let me just take this here. Control C. Let's run. And we're going to paste this. All right, and so that's our script there for the longer run. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and make this go pretty quickly from, I guess we'll go 11, 12, or 11, we'll go 1,300. I think that should work. Get this thing connected. Let's go 1,300. Oops. Okay, 1,300 for 5 seconds. And that'll jump, and then we will do a 1,500, I guess. Let me see where I'm at with this. Okay, so let's take this out. We'll go to here. All right, so we can delete all this. Try to make the script as short as possible. 13, and then we'll go to 1,500, and then we'll go to 1,700, and we'll go to 1,750. And then we'll just jump to 2,000 from there. All right, that'll give us full throttle. So let's do 2,000 full throttle. And we're going to run that for 60 seconds. Okay, and then that'll be the end of it. So let me just take the rest of this out. All right, that should give us our script to run we're going, like I said, our throttle is going to go to 1,100 for 5 seconds, 1,300, 1,500, 1,700. I can actually take these down to 4 because that's the minimum amount to run to write to the file, and we should be ready to go. And then after 2,000 we'll stop and we'll get a heat reading, and that should be it. So let me save this as 1 minute 100%. And we'll save that. Okay. So we're going to try this and see if the first round works. Ready? So we've got our first reading for heat, and now we're just going to go ahead and start cramming this motor as best as we can. Let's see if the script is wrong, then we will adjust it, but here goes. Actually, hold on, time out a second. Let me make sure this is activated. All right. See if we can get this to initialize. Okay, now you're going to see it start up, and here we go. Okay, you're at maximum and your 60 seconds starts. Your temperature's climbing, you're about 86, 88, 89, 91, 92. So far, this is where we're going on temperature. All right, so our 1 minute is up. Our temperature reading on the motor is, I'm trying to get a good reading here. It looks like we are somewhere around, let me see if I can get this. I hate trying to do this part, but it looks like we're about 80, let me see. Yeah, it's pretty warm. Let me just see if I can get a better reading than that. I'm trying my best to get the coils themselves, and it looks like I'm at about 90, I think that, actually, I got up there. So we were about 150. Let me see if I can get that. All right. So we're about our highest point while I'm dragging that across about 115 degrees. On the ESC, it looks like we are, let me touch it even see if I feel any heat. ESC really doesn't show any heat at all. It's about 86 degrees. So you can see the high point when I did that was about 86 degrees. Okay. So about 120. Yeah. I mean, I think the high point, I just showed that one. I can't remember exactly, but let me see if I can get it again. And I don't know, it's had time to cool a little bit, but looks like I think we were at about 120 or so. You'd have to check back. So we burned about, we started, so we didn't burn that many volts, right? Because you can see right now the leftover voltage is about 16.94. Everything so far looks good. Now, the next question is for you guys is we can push this motor with a 5S without a prop, or we can start cranking it with a 4S with a prop or a 5S with a prop. What would you guys like to see next? While you decide, I'm going to take this battery off and put it back on the charger and go grab a fresh one. And I'll come back and see what you guys recommend or what you guys want to see. Now, we are, let me see, what is this one? This is the, I got to see what this is. This is the, I can't read. I think this is the Cyclone prop. Let me check real quick. Okay, this is a Dow prop 5040. Pretty smooth prop, something that we could definitely test. Do I? No, I don't smell anything yet. I would have told you, I definitely don't smell anything burning yet. So this is a 5040 prop right here that we can use, and we can run that. Anything I do, I want to run for a minute though, because that pretty much replicates flying, right? And I don't know how hard you're going to push it, but here I want to push this thing, and I definitely want to see the amp readings. That's the biggest thing, is I want to see how many amps we're pulling with this. So I can put a prop on now if you guys want. And if you do, I can use the remainder of this 4S battery if you'd like. So I guess we could go ahead and do that if you guys want to. Props on. All right. So I'm going to take this 4S, unless I've got, I think I may have, I've got about 10 of them charged, so let me just grab a new one if I need to. But I think it's 16.9 volts. We'll just go ahead and use the 16.9 and see what happens. So I'm going to go ahead and put the prop on, and now we're going to start our hard test on these. Now it may trip. There is a circuit protector on here that makes sure that we don't not blow the motor, but blow the machine itself. So hang tight, let me go bolt that on real quick. And guys, this is going to be a really good way to gauge what you want to put on your, as far as your battery choice and so forth, because this is what prompted the whole thing, where people trying to put too much through their motor and not realizing that the amp draw was going to probably kill the ESC or the motor or both. So, all right, we're using the 5040, and I want to put that in the computer, so hang tight with me a second. Let me go to my utilities, and we're using a 20 watt, and we're going to use a 4S, and we're going to use the Dow Prop 5040C. All right, so this is going to be a good gauge for you with the Dow Props, and I'm going to try to, the only thing I wish I had was my glasses so I don't get my eyes cut out, so let me go grab those real quick. All right, so we're going to go 4S, 5S, and 6S, and we're going to see exactly when this thing flies. All right, hopefully nobody gets hurt, especially me. Here we go. So we're going to keep the same thing, and if it does air out because of a protection issue, then we will adjust it to pace up even slower. So you guys can watch now in real time the thrust, and I'll leave that up, and you can watch the ESC power, and you'll be able to see some of your amp pull right here. Okay, so here we go. Let's go to automatic control. Let's go ahead and clear out the thrust. And let's get started. Make sure nobody gets killed on this one, please. I cannot do that all night. I swear to God, I'm going to end up with the worst headache. I got to get some earplugs for this thing. All right, so initially while we were running it, I left the, I hit a max of about 124. I'm going to check it now again and see where we're at. Looks like that's probably somewhat accurate, actually. I'm not getting any much higher readings than that. I've got about 115 right now. All right, so, and then on the ESC, the readings are showing somewhere around about the same. I don't see anything major on that, about maybe 99, 100, I guess. Now, again, guys, I think 113, I just hit 111 on the ESC. So, I mean, it's somewhere in that range. All right, motor's hot, but I mean, I can keep my hands on it. Not for very long, though. That sucker's burning. Hold on, let me see if I can get a better reading this way. I got about 120. I think I just put about 128 just then. All right, so, okay, that was, yeah, sorry, I meant to warn you guys to turn the volume down. All right, so that's the motor on a 4S for 100% for 60 seconds at 100% throttle. I don't know if we saw the data on it, but you guys probably, if you didn't see it, let's see if I can pull it up for you real quick. Should have been right here. And I want to say that we were, okay, so it's saying that we pulled about 1,300 grams of thrust, and we were using about 42 amps at that point. So with a 4S at 100%, we remained under the 45 amp limit on the ESC, right? So now we're going to pull the 4S off. And that sucker is kind of warm. I mean, if I was to get, it's not too bad, but it's definitely not, it's about 100 and, so it's about 108 degrees, about 110, somewhere around there, if you guys can see that. All right, time to go to the 5S now. I'll be right back, and we'll put a 5S on. And I got to get me some ear Dumaflachis. Let me see what I got for 5S. S and 5S. Alright, I'm going to grab a 5S. It's at about 21 volts. It's close enough. I feel pretty good just using that, so I'm going to go ahead. Oh, I had one here already, my bad. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put this 5S in. Alright, now this, we may see some interesting stuff happen here. I don't know where the failure would be if it happens. I do want to get some earplugs. I've got to get some earphones or something, so 1 second, please, because that is going to drive me up the wall. Hey, Mama, do I have an earphone? Alright, I think I got my earplugs, so I'm going to try some earbuds, whatever the hell Apple calls them. So here goes. Oh my God. Got to get ready for this noise. It's loud. If y'all think it's loud, you got to see what it's like on this side. All right. Now, the reason I'm not going to worry about letting it cool down is because I'm trying to simulate somewhat of this quad landing, switching batteries, and getting back. So now what we're going to do is go back to our utility, and we're going to reset it to say this is with a 5S. And we are going to reset the thrust, and we are going to pray that nothing goes wrong, right? Okay. Make sure everything looks good, and it does. Here goes, guys. And watch your screen here if you want. You can see the thrust, or you can read this piece right here, whichever one you prefer. Oh, crap. Give me my coffee. My Lord. Okay, it smells. If you want to know if it smells, it's melting the... oh, shit. It actually melted the solder. Well, that's the end of our test for right now. It actually melted the solder on the ESC. You can see right here. Oh, shit, it is hot. Hold on. So this is what the reading I got from the motor. If you look right here, you're going to see it at... What the hell? At one point, it was... I think y'all got that. Let me see if I can get that back on. Well, it just disappeared, but it was 195 on the motor. You can slow down the video on playback, and you'll see I read about 195. And right now, I'm getting a reading of about 170, roughly. Let me make sure that that's about as good of a reading as I'm going to go. Well, 178 is what I'm getting right now after the run. Okay, and then on the ESC, well, that sucker is cooking. So at the top there, I'm at about the same temperature, about 164.8. Let me show you that, if you can see the bottom there. So, looks like we got batteries pretty warm. But I will tell you, it smells like hell in here with that motor, but batteries at about 107, if you can see that. All right. So, what it's going to take for me to do now, I mean, it literally just melted that stuff right off. Melted the plastic too. Okay, so we know the heat got up there pretty good. I mean, the only thing left to do is for me to resolder that piece and push it to, I guess, a 6S. Heck, I said we were going to break stuff. Well, I guess we'll break stuff. So let's go see what the report said. Let's go see what the report said here. And we can check out. I'm very impressed with the motor, though. I'm not going to lie to you. That's a heck of a performance on that motor. The wires are all right. Okay, so it looks like we got 1,600, roughly about 1,650 grams of thrust using that prop. And we took our voltage down quite a bit to about 17.5 volts. But still, I'm impressed with the fact that the motor did not smoke. Did very well. It's very hot though right now. Yeah, shit, that's hot. All right, so that's the 5S on it, and it's still reading at about 100 and, oh hell, I don't know. It's somewhere up there. This thing is about 100. It's still at about 130. Okay, so let's see. I will resolder this real quickly, and we will give it another run. I don't know if the ESC is going to last. It looks like it's burning up a little bit, but it's melted all the heat shrink. Great. This looks like fun. All right. Instead of using the plug, I think I'm just going to solder the motors directly to the wires directly to the ESC at this point. No sense in doing that. So let me grab my soldering iron here, and we'll get started. Okay. So if you guys will just give me 1 second, I will knock that out, and we will get back in business here. Just cooked. All right. Solder should be ready. I need my tweezers here real quick. Let me turn that down. All right, so let's put these back on, and we'll go to 6S and see if we can have some fun. All right. Now my guess is there's a high probability the current protection is probably going to stop this from running at 6S for very long, but we shall see. Some solder. I'll be right back. 1 second. This is not my standard soldering iron, so I apologize. I'm used to using the one on my bench, but this will work. Okay. All right, so we'll let that, I think that's going to be good for us for now. We'll close that off, get this out of the way, and get started with our 6S run and see what it takes. Let me get my fire extinguisher. And you guys can time it, because I don't think... All right, got my trusty fire extinguisher. Now I know how to use it from the last fire we had. Get all this crap out of the way. Let me get my 6S battery in place. All right, we got a fresh 6S. And this will be running again, 100% throttle for 60 seconds. It is a long 60 seconds when you're sitting in this room. Okay, if everybody's ready, and make sure my fire extinguisher is ready. I think it is. Yep. Okay, let me put that down here. Let me give them my goggles. Where the hell those went? There they are. And now we're going to push this with a 6S, guys. Here we go. Something is bound to give. Get out the hell out of the way. All right. Oh boy. Gonna zero out the thrust. Get it zeroed out. There we go. The thrust is not calculating now, which means that I need to reset it to the machine. So hang tight 1 second. When the thrust does that, it means that it's had kind of an overload, I guess. So let me just go back out there, open it up, accept, connect, and I need to update the utilities anyway. There we go. Thrust is back and working, and now we're going to change it to 6S. And reset it. Go to automatic. Grab our script. Click run. I think we should be good to go. We'll see. I need to activate it real quick. All right. Here we go, guys. Whoa. All right, so we hit the safety limit, and it looks like we're not going to be able to hit it at 2,000. So let's see, the safety limit for power exceeded. So let me get my safety cutoffs real quick. We'll not be able to push beyond 2,000. So let me go back now, and we're going to have to edit this to stop at like, I don't know, maybe 1,800 or 1,900. So let me try 1,900 and see if we can get away with that. And again, that is done to make sure that I don't ruin the benchmark equipment. So let me get that zeroed back out. Okay. And then we will close this. Our thrust is dead, so let's go ahead and open that back up. Okay. Zero out our thrust. Show us our thrust here and our ESC efficiency here, our power. And here we go. If it doesn't work at 1900, then we will have to drop it to 1800 until we find a spot where it can handle it. So here we go. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We melted the solder again on the motor. So let's see where we're at. Okay, so we've got a, let me see how much heat I've got first. Looks like I am ranging somewhere around, I don't know, it really didn't spike that much, about 145. ESC wise, it's probably the same. Alright, so I've lost the connection to the middle wire, so let me go ahead and attach that again. And these are the little kinks that you work with. Alright, so we're going to put this one back on and give it another shot until we get a successful run at this. Just need to find the It looked like 1900 was probably going to be a pretty good area anyway, so I think we found our spot there that's going to be the maximum amount of success for throttle. But I just got to get this. All right. I mean, it looks like it's set, so we'll try it again. Well, Billy, honestly, I don't have a normal to gauge this against. I mean, I feel like it's kind of going, it's kind of something that I really don't have the answer to. I wish I did, but I don't. I've had now, I mean, you know, it's getting pretty hot, but I really don't know. I mean, I really don't know if it's a solder type, but it's getting pretty damn hot. So I've seen it happen. But all right, so here we go. We're going to try this again. Now we've lost some voltage, but not much. So I'm just going to go back to manual control. I'm going to reset the thrust here and make sure that we can get a good thrust reading again. So let me open that back up. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, that's true. I mean, we're definitely not going to fly like this on purpose. But what it will tell you, and part of the fun out of this is, hold on a second. I got to be careful here because we're not. I need to inject this real quick. Part of the thing is that while you guys don't max out, I do have some customers that do. And I've been trying to explain to them that you really can't do that. Now, all right, looks like we may be able to get back in this. I'm going to see. Okay, so there we go. We're back in. So I told them I would do this for them basically to give them an idea of what they might be doing to their quad when they are pushing it to its max. All right, here we go. Last chance at this. If we lose a solder again, I may just have to come up with some other kind of design to keep this on here. I mean, it's usually soldered pretty good, but maybe I'll hot glue it, solder it, and then staple it and cement it and do all the other crap. All right, let's get going. Manual control, make sure we got movement. Okay, I'm gonna go to automatic control. I'm gonna go ahead and load our same test. Let's hope we can get it this time. Make sure my numbers are right, 1900 for 60 seconds. Run, and here we go. Let's hope nothing screws up. Last chance. Alright, so it looks like we smoked the motor at 252 degrees, roughly. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. And we've got some smoke coming out of it now. I'd say that's pretty much done. I'll try to get another reading here. And the 263 just now. So, and it looks like it's climbing. So, let me see. Yeah, I think 263 is going to be the... and then battery-wise, yeah. So, okay, so we're still at about 246, it says, and we're teetering around that range now. So about after maybe 10, 20 seconds of running it, we're still at 246. ESC-wise, I don't know, that whole region right now is pretty hot. I'm not really getting, I got about 142, maybe a little bit higher. All right, so, our poor motor has taken a little bit of a lick. My mouse went flying because the damn wind pushed it off. But I will tell you something. I don't know if this motor is dead yet. And I'll tell you why. So let me... no, I guess... Yeah, well, you know what? No, I don't think it's dead. I think that we have another solder issue. We did have smoke in the motor, but I think this is going to actually start back up. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Yeah, tell me about it, Todd. I'm sitting here with this crap in my face, and it's killing me. All right, so we know that on, and I'm going to tell you flat out, I mean, I'm extremely impressed with this T-motor. The motor did smoke, but the problem is more on the ESC than it is on the motor. Now, what I do want to do is I want to go ahead and look back at the report that we're going to get on this run. So the report that we're going to get is going to be right here. And I believe it's going to show if this, yeah, this is a 6S on the dowel prop. And it pulled about, okay, so it pulled about 1,800 grams of thrust is what it said. And if I go back to the other report, which should be maybe here. Let me see if that's the 5S. No, that's still the 6S, so let me get rid of that one. Go down one more. 1130. Yeah, this is probably it. So this may be the 5S. Okay, so here's where we get to compare. And this is the whole idea of this kind of doing something like this, right? So I'll put these two charts together. I've obviously got some work to do to get the information to you, but if I switch between the two, what you're going to see is, okay, so we pulled 1,656 grams of thrust out of this at with a 5S, right? Now that's at 2,000 RPM. And I mean 2,000 thrust, sorry, I understand. And this is at 1,900. But when we want to compare the amps pulled, we pulled 54 amps at full throttle, and we pulled 54 amps at 1,900. Here, Our efficiency level is, we are at, where are we, at a 1.5 there, and we are at a 1.7 here. I guess the point I'm trying to make is, and this is where all this is headed, okay? So the idea behind this, and we're gonna keep going, all right? I mean, I've got to set this up a little bit better so the ESCs. I'm gonna probably use a different solder, I guess, to try to do something a little bit better and more reliable. But this is the first run at it. The idea is simple. I want to give a better video of where the ESC is going to fail and where the motor fails. Now, we know we're not running at 100%. I get it. But it doesn't take 100% on most motors. Now, take a, I don't know, there's plenty of motors where 30 seconds at full throttle is going to fry it. All right? Or it can't handle a 6S, but because somebody says, well, the ESC said 6S, the PDB said 6S, the flight controller said 6S, it's 6S. No. It means it's like 20-something volts. It can handle 24 volts or whatever. But it doesn't mean that it can handle the amp pull and the current that's going through. That's what we're doing. So I'm going to put all the numbers together and get some for you guys. I am going to see if this motor will run again. And I think that it's going to become one of the top motors for a test like this for sure. Because I've done similar tests and they've caught on fire or smoked. And this one hasn't. So with that said, I'm going to stop the video here now, only because I need your feedback on if you like this approach. I need to repair the ESC, and then we're going to be cranking them out multiple times a day. Our point is to break everything, and if we don't break it, that's a hell of a product, okay? So I'm going to end it here, guys. I also put that Fat Shark video up thanks to Aaron Moore, our team pilot, who told me about the DVR update, so check that out. And we're going to do some more motors, but I'll post when that's coming, okay? Until then, guys, thanks a lot. If you have any questions, hit me up at Tarek at CycloneFPV.com. I appreciate all your support. Talk to you later. Like my clean-shaved face? I like it. See you. Bye.